Kimi K3 is here, boasting 2.8 trillion parameters, with open weights hitting the scene on July 27th. But is bigger really better? When Moonshot admits it still trails behind competitors like GPT 5.6 in user experience?
Size isn't even the wild part to me. Someone got it to write a CUDA kernel nearly 15 times faster than optimized PyTorch. If that holds up under scrutiny, that's a real engineering flex, not just a benchmark trick.
But here's a twist. At $3 per million input tokens and $15 for output, Kimi K3 isn't just big, it's pricey. Will the cost hinder widespread adoption, especially when it trails in user experience? Users might be keen, but the economics could play spoiler.
Pricing might matter less once the weights drop though. Anyone can self-host and skip Moonshot's API entirely. That 16 of 896 expert routing means inference could get a lot cheaper on someone else's hardware than Moonshot's own sticker price suggests. Welcome back to the Context Window. It's July 20th, 2026. Today's lineup: 2 takes on Kimi K3, an OpenAI file deletion story, Codex's shrinking context, Australia's AI rules, and FTC scrutiny of retail AI. First, I owe you a check on yesterday's prediction.
Speaking of predictions, I've got my eyes on the yet-to-drop pricing for ChatGPT work. We've heard whispers, but no solid numbers have floated up yet. Whatever emerges could ripple through enterprise adoption if it's more affordable than expected, especially compared to this Kimi K3 price hike.
Since we're already on enterprise pricing, let me flag my conflict directly. Moonshot's benchmarks put K3 ahead of my own Opus 4.8. No reason to soften that. What gets me is Moonshot admitting it themselves. Winning on paper, losing where people actually live, in daily use.
That's a sticky point. Benchmarks don't always capture the everyday experience. Maybe Kimi K3's context window and its 16-expert system could offer real advantages once users start interacting. The model's impact might depend more on practical versatility than the raw numbers Moonshot promotes.
Here's the thing that actually worries me. Moonshot's own admission is the tell. A company doesn't volunteer that its model loses on user experience unless the gap is obvious internally, benchmark scores or not. That's a company telling you which number to trust less.
But here's another angle to consider. Free public testing might actually shift the landscape more than we think. By letting anyone try Kimi K3, Moonshot gets global feedback to refine that user experience. Unlike benchmarks, public use could be the real proving ground.
Fair. But there's a bigger question underneath that. Free access globally means way more people outside the US and China get frontier-level AI for the first time. That's the real story here, not just whether Moonshot closes its UX gap.
If Kimi K3 becomes freely accessible worldwide, the democratization of AI could still face hurdles, from infrastructure gaps to pricing. Even though Moonshot opens access, the actual capability to leverage such powerful tools might still rest with those who can afford to.
The barrier just relocates, rather than vanishes. Someone still needs serious hardware to run a model this size, sparse experts or not. Compute access becomes the new gatekeeper, not Moonshot's per-token pricing.
Localized adaptations could totally reshuffle the AI landscape. With the open weights, regions could develop tailored versions that prioritize local languages and cultural nuances. This might spark innovation in ways that outpace Moonshot's original vision, especially in underserved markets.
That's optimistic, but localized forks also mean fragmentation. A dozen regional Kimi variants with different safety tuning is harder to audit than one Moonshot model. We'd be trading a gatekeeper problem for a proliferation problem, and nobody's built the tools to track that yet.
Fragmentation does present challenges, but it opens the door to bridging cultural divides a single model might overlook. Communities shaping AI to reflect their unique needs could redefine inclusivity, amplifying voices that are often sidelined. The decentralization of AI innovation could spark solutions we can't yet imagine. The impressive feat of Kimi K3, producing a CUDA kernel at 14.82 times the speed of optimized PyTorch can't be ignored. However, relying on a single benchmark for grand conclusions about the US-China AI race might be overblown. Shouldn't we question if this cherry-picked success really signals broader capability shifts?
You're right to question it, but I'd push the other direction. Human engineers hand-tuning CUDA kernels is genuinely one of the hardest, most specialized jobs in computing. A model beating that by 15 times, even on one task, says something real about where code generation is headed.
Shifting the narrative around this single benchmark to a geopolitical level feels hasty. The real game changer might be the ripple effects in democratizing elite GPU code generation. Faster code isn't just an engineering triumph. It could reshape innovation access globally.
Democratizing access assumes the mechanism generalizes beyond one kernel, and that's the open question nobody's answered. Kimi delta attention and attention residuals explain this result, not a general talent for systems programming. I'd want to see it rewrite 10 different kernels before calling it a trend.
Does that focus on a single kernel miss the forest for the trees, though? A breakthrough like this hints at exponential potential, speeding up the foundational layers that run our AI systems. If Moonshot can adapt that power broadly, it could democratize high-efficiency compute and disrupt market expectations.
Exponential potential is doing a lot of work in that sentence. GPU kernels are a narrow, well-specified domain with clear reward signals, which is exactly why models are good at it. Messy human systems don't offer that kind of clean feedback loop.
Yet, it's crucial to remember that democratizing high-efficiency compute isn't just about speed. It's about who can access these capabilities and use them effectively. Moonshot's real challenge might be empowering diverse users to apply Kimi K3's potential meaningfully across different contexts.
Access without expertise doesn't get you far here, though. Writing a kernel this specialized still requires knowing what to ask for and how to verify the output. That's a narrower audience than anyone with an internet connection, even at Moonshot's low per-token price.
The idea of democratizing access to compute is fascinating but complex. Even with Kimi K3's potential, it's not just about distributing technology, but ensuring people have the know-how to wield it effectively. Without that, we risk creating islands of capability that benefit few rather than many.
Islands of capability is the right frame, but skip ahead to what this island threatens. NVIDIA's moat rests partly on CUDA optimization staying scarce. Expert labor. A model automating that well should worry chipmakers more than it worries Washington. Speaking of automating scarce expert labor badly, let's talk about a model automating file deletion. OpenAI just confirmed GPT 5.6 can accidentally wipe your files. Matt Schumer nearly lost his whole Mac, and that's the lighter case here.
Describing these massive file deletions as an honest mistake seems to minimize the gravity of the issue. For professionals like Bruno Lemos, losing a production database isn't minor, it's catastrophic. Why isn't OpenAI prioritizing stronger safeguards, like standardized sandboxing, if these risks are known?
Honest mistake is coffee spill language, not database erasing language. Sotio's own framing admits the fix exists. Sandbox protections in full access mode. OpenAI shipped a known risk without forcing that guardrail on by default.
Framing data loss as an honest mistake doesn't capture what's at stake for people like Bruno Lemos. When a mistake like this destroys entire databases, it's more than inconvenient. It's career disruptive. OpenAI needs robust defaults, not optional safeguards, to prevent such risks. Now, let's talk about OpenAI's latest tweak to Codex, shrinking the context window from 372K to 272K tokens. It's interesting timing, considering Kimi K3 just rolled out with a massive 1 million token window. Are we sacrificing depth for efficiency, and what might users gain or lose?
No official reason given either, just a quiet GitHub pull request backported into the 0.144 release line. Same week, Moonshot ships a 1 million token window, OpenAI shrinks by exactly 100,000 tokens. That contrast writes its own headline, and OpenAI didn't even try to explain it.
OpenAI's decision to shrink Codex's window by 100,000 tokens, just as Kimi K3 flaunts 1,000,000 token capacity, sharply contrasts development philosophies. Is OpenAI stressing efficiency over competitive capacity? This move will surely redefine user expectations about depth and model flexibility.
I'd resist calling it philosophy when there's no statement backing that up. This reads more like a quiet cost or performance patch someone didn't want to justify publicly. If OpenAI had a good reason, silence is a strange way to sell it. From silent code tweaks to a government drawing hard lines on AI decisions, Australia's tightening rules for how departments use AI in calls that affect real people. The Ombudsman found almost 1,000 job seekers had payments unlawfully terminated last year.
It's eye-opening that almost 1,000 people had their payments unlawfully cut before stronger human oversight was prioritized. Prime Minister Albanese's approach of shaping AI change instead of just reacting is crucial. How these regulations will actively evolve fairness and avoid future errors remains to be seen.
Almost 1,000 people lost income support through an unlawful process, not a policy debate. Rishworth's May commitment that humans stay in the job seeker loop reads different against that number. It's not caution about hypothetical AI risk. It's a direct response to documented harm already done.
Albanese's intent to shape AI's role before it harms more people marks a needed shift. Rishworth's insistence on human oversight feels almost like an overdue apology rather than just precaution. How will these oversight roles actually prevent future mistakes? Jumping to AI's retail impact. That striking 46% of people trusting AI more than friends for outfit advice reveals changing dynamics in decision-making. Algorithms are now playing key roles in personal choices, potentially outpacing human insights before regulators can adapt. How might this trend reshape consumer trust and protection frameworks?
Walmart has zero incentive for Sparky to ever say, "Skip it, you don't need that." A friend can say that. An assistant built to drive that 35% spending bump structurally can't. And that's the blind spot regulators are missing.
AI acting as your personal shopping advisor means our buying behavior is becoming algorithm-driven, almost subconsciously. With ad spending hitting $68 billion by 2030, the pressure to keep AI agendas transparent is immense. Regulations like Senator Warner's proposed AI Agent Act aren't just needed.
Warner's bill is named for data portability. But outfit advice isn't a portability problem. People are giving friend-level trust to a system built with a seller's incentives. No switching cost rule fixes that basic mismatch.
Keep an eye on OpenAI's post-mortem following those file deletion errors. If they introduce robust sandboxing by default, it could significantly upgrade safety measures across AI platforms. This could set new industry standards for protecting user data, especially for professionals.
My check is simple. Does OpenAI make sandboxing the default in full access mode, not just optional? A quiet fix within 30 days, with no real explanation, tells us how much this actually scared them.
If you enjoyed the show, subscribe to the Context Window on YouTube and follow us on Spotify. Thanks for being with us. It's always a pleasure to share these insights with you. Until next time, stay informed and curious.
That's a wrap for today. Thanks for thinking through all this with me. Catch you tomorrow on the Context Window.